Welcome to How to Become a Production SQL Database Administrator. My name is Raphael. In the previous video, we looked at the maintenance plan and we created a plan to back up the system databases. In this example, I'm going to take one more step, and in that I'm going to be creating multiple subplans. So I'm going to show you how to back up a database using a full database backup, a differential backup, and a transactional log backup using a subplan. And we're going to use a database plan again, just for our demonstration purposes here. Before I do that, let me just show you what this activity is doing here. I'm going to be using the admin database. I'm going to create a table called while table, and then I'm going to use this while loop command to populate that table. Don't worry about it. This will be provided for you. Basically, it's going to insert into a table called while table. First name, DBA multiple times, up to 100 times. And then what it's going to do is going to pause for this many seconds. This wait for delay followed by this is a command that pauses the action before the next command is executed. So in this case, I'm going to pause 5 seconds and then repeat this process again in inserting another 100 records. Then I'm going to pause 10 seconds and insert another 100, and so on. So it's going to be 10, it's going to pause 15 seconds, 10 seconds, and so on. And by the end of this activity, I should have 1,000 rows from this table. So that's all that's going to do. So I'll provide that for you also. So before we do that, obviously, let's create the maintenance plan. So again, go to your Management Studio, go to Management folder, go to Management Plan, right-click, and go. This time, I'm going to select New Maintenance Plan rather than the wizard, and I'm going to call it Admin Full Backup, and go OK. And you've seen this picture before. So now what I'm going to do, obviously, is now I'm going to actually select the tasks that I want to, rather than the wizard choosing it for me. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to first change this to a full command. I'm going to take the description out and go OK. And then I'm going to add another subplan. And this one's going to be for the differential, so I'll just call it diff. And go OK. And I'm going to take that off. For some reason it adds it. And I'm going to add another subplan, and I'm going to call this tlog for transactional log backups. So now that I have 3 sequential plans, the first one's going to be executed first, the full, then the differential, then the log. And so click on the full and bring down this task called backup database. So bring that down here, and you'll see the X command. So double click it. And let's choose our database. In this case, we're going to choose admin database. Again, check the ignore and go OK. It's going to be a full database, so that's fine. Make sure you select the full. And we've gone through this before, so I'm just going to go OK. Now click on differential. Again, bring up the backup database task. Double click. Select, in this case, make sure you select the database first. Ignore. Okay, and now here, make sure you select differential. See, this will happen, and make sure you select the admin. And this way, we can change it to diff, actually, because this will distinguish from the back. And again, they'll be populated in this directory, so go OK. And then lastly, we're going to hit the transactional log, bring up the backup database task, repeat the process. This time I'm going to choose transactional log. Make sure you do that. Admin, OK, OK, and OK. So now that we have 3 subplans, the first one's going to be this, a full database backup, then it's going to take a differential backup, and then it's going to take a transactional log backup. Now the next thing we need to do, obviously, is schedule it. So I'm going to click on full database backup subplan or plan. I'm going to click the calendar. This one I'm going to just choose daily. It occurs once, so it's 9:42. So I'll click 9. Let's make it 45. Hopefully I can do it within 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, and that's it. So it's going to occur just at 9:45, which is 2 minutes. I'm going to go OK. So now I'm going to quickly go to the differential and schedule that. That one I'm going to say daily. And actually I'm going to do it minutes, every 2 minutes. I want that to occur after that. So it's going to be 9:46 p.m. And that will just leave it to 9:50 p.m. So that occurs every 2 minutes after the fact, and go OK. 9:46, that's fine. And then lastly, I'm going to choose this. It occurs every daily. For illustrative purposes, I'm just going to put every 10 seconds. And I want that to begin basically after the full database backup. So I'm going to go 9:45 p.m. And we'll just make it to 9:50 p.m. So that's going to occur every 10 seconds. And obviously this is for illustrative purposes. Make sure you check the enable. I'm going to check all the other ones that is enabled. So let me check this. It's enabled. And it's enabled. And we're going to save it. Remember the asterisk. I'm going to quickly save it before it starts running. So it's saved. So let me get out of it. And remember, at 9:45 it's going to start. And if you look at the SQL agents, those will be populated also. This is the directory that it's going to dump the data into. And as soon as it starts, let's look at these tables. As soon as it starts, I can start executing that file to allow me to dump the data. And there it goes. So actually, I'm just going to start this and just execute it. So now it's taking a full database backup on a schedule. It's going to take a differential on a schedule. And it's going to start taking transactional logs on a schedule, as you can see. And this is obviously activity. This is scheduled for about 1 minute 20 seconds. So you can see now that the transactional log backups are occurring at the designated time. And every 10 seconds, the transactional log will occur. And then followed by every 2 minutes, the differential log backup. And then we just had a full database backup at once. So now you see simultaneously what's happening when you automate and let the SQL agent do its job here. Let me just close this. So as activity is occurring throughout the day, you've set up the maintenance plan to constantly back up the database using the full database backup, the differential backup, and there goes the differential right there. So 2 minutes must have elapsed, and transactional log backup. So all this activity is being recorded, and this is a good illustration of how the SQL automates the backups. So this is going to go on for a few minutes, and obviously, as we've talked about it, that if we needed to restore the database, then we would have to go to this backup file and look at the first full database backup, followed by the last differential that we took, followed by the all sequential transaction log. And there were 1,000 rows, and that's what it's indicating here. So this particular process has been stopped. This is going to continue, and I'm going to stop it in a second. But these 1,000 rows has been recorded by the transactional log, differential log, and the database full database backup. So this is a great example, again, of how SQL Server utilizes a jobs to automate backups. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to really get into too more complicated here. What I'm going to do actually is just stop this. So we don't really need it. I just wanted to capture that 1,000 rows, which it has. And obviously, if we want to disable it rather than deleting it, I prefer right-click and disable. And it's disabled, and you'll get a little arrow here. And right-click, disable. And right-click, disable. And then obviously we want to disable this one also, since I think I disabled the previous one. And that's how you create a maintenance plan using, if I highlight this, you'll see that the maintenance plans for the full database backup admin database has been created. So now obviously the next series of videos that I wanted to illustrate is using the SQL agent using scripts and the SQL agent to create jobs. And you notice that this is a little more complicated here, so I'm going to be devoting several videos to this topic. We'll be discussing what the function of SQL Server Agent is. Primarily is to manage jobs. We're going to be looking at what alerts are, what operators are, and then looking at the error logs also. So I'm going to have several videos, as I said, devoted to this. So now you can quickly see how visually SQL manages and backs up data. So I'll leave it there and we'll continue in the next session. So my name is Raphael and this is how to become a production SQL database administrator.